Hi everyone, thanks for being here. My name is Cindy. You are at Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I hope you're enjoying this channel. If you are established here, to new subscribers and new viewers, welcome, welcome. The Soulprint community is about positive energy and supporting one another and kindness. So remember that. Um, Last piece of housekeeping I wanted to look at. In my last video, I think I was talking about in the pendulum one, I was talking about somebody had sent in a request and wanted to know about suicide. They wanted a reading on what happened. And I said I had one and I couldn't find it. So if you go into the information box below, right at the bottom, there is a link to take you to Soulprint Insights. Okay. Once you're there, I want you to look for video number 65, because this was actually numbered. 65, and it says suicide, what happens to the soul, I think is how it is. So for those of you who are interested in that, that's where you're going to find it. All right, so it is Monday afternoon, mid-afternoon here in Alberta, and it's like the energy has started to settle in some ways. So what you have is um, for a significant population, for a significant number of people, this today was the unfathomable, right? It was the how the hell it was bad enough it happened once. How did it happen twice? What are we going to deal with now? Um, he's more ruthless. He has more intelligent people around him. Whatever it is. So these are some of the things that I was asked pass along to you. The first one is that you can anticipate from today through till the end of the month. Okay, so that 11 days or so. You can anticipate chaos, just chaos. He's going to do a whole bunch of executive orders, and he's going to and they're going to go out and everybody's going to be going, what, we don't know what to do. What are you talking about? How are we supposed to implement this? That's fine that you say that, but we don't know how to do that. It's like, so there's just going to be this crazy chaos. And you know what, let's remember, this is he loves creating chaos. And so the more that we feed into it by getting anxious and worried and upset, the more powerful does that energy become. Okay. So the first thing is limit your exposure and be very, mindful about what you're taking in and what you're accepting as, journalistic truth or or somebody's idea of how you figure out, what's going to happen. Be careful what you're taking in because it plays on you. It plays on all of us and it weakens us. It makes us very tired. And you know what? We're going to need our energy going forward. The energy around him today, from the bits I saw, I did not watch the whole thing. By a long shot, I did not watch the whole thing. Um, his energy today was sedate. It was almost sleepy. There were a lot of those really slow eye blinks that he does, but there was no vibrancy pumping out of him. And that was typical, right? I mean, I've been following this guy for a while now. When you stepped into his energy, it was like chaotic. Everything was flying all over the place. You could, and this is just like, hmm. like, like a lump of wet clay. Okay, there's just nothing there. He's just like, okay, this is where I am and this is what I'm doing. Now, I'm not going to suggest that he has had some sort of um, a assistant, perhaps, from something that may or may not be ingested. But there's definitely a sense of, like, there's a really big sense of sort of relief, but more, there is just this energy that he really doesn't quite, he didn't quite know what to do next because, this wasn't about the whole running for president again. That was for two reasons. One is to prove it could be done so he wouldn't be a loser. And two, um, to delay, eliminate, squash any idea of jail time, that kind of thing. Well, those two things are accomplished, right? He didn't have anything else on his list. Other people had a list for him, but he didn't have anything else. And so there really is this sense of, okay, well, I'm going to go in and they're going to throw 100, executive orders on, and I'm going to sign them with my magic marker, and I'm going to hold them up and smile. That's it. Um, Melania's energy was very interesting. First of all, the very militarized dress she was wearing, very, very form fitted, very, just sort of had that uniform kind of look to it. Um, Her hat was the best. Her dress was navy, if you didn't see it. Her hat was navy, and it had like a white band around it. But when she just was like this, okay, so when she was looking apparently straight ahead, all you could see was this much of her. Okay. When she did this, for whatever reason, it was like the hat was sitting on the shoulders. There was no head visible. So what she did today, what she worked very hard at accomplishing, was a non-emotional emotional reaction. Okay. Um, he did not want to see any replays of the a couple events that happened during the last inauguration where she was caught on camera with a dramatic change of face, when Trump talked to her. So that was something that she seemed to be really, really cognizant of making sure that as much of her reactions were not witnessed. Just as simple as that. Um, don't expect to see a lot out of her. Don't expect that she's going to be any more of a first lady than she was the last time. You know, all we can do is hope and pray that the amount of decorating damage she does is minimal, and that she just stays where she's quiet. Like it's almost like they're gonna, when she is in Washington, it's almost like they have separate wings. Like, never mind bedrooms, but separate wings. Um, she's gonna spend a lot of time not in Washington. She's gonna be in New York. She's gonna be in Florida, and she has no intention of um, putting any energy or effort into being a different kind of first lady, or hell, even the kind we had last time with her. So she is literally, in her brain, it's like ching. I showed up at the inauguration. I did what I was supposed to do. I was the perfect trophy wife. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So for her, so anybody who's wondering if they got that prenuptial agreement redone, I'm gonna say, yeah, she got some nice little perks in there. So that's what we've got going into the White House, right? You've got this one person who is so self-absorbed, um, and they don't really care, do you? Um, and then you have this other one who sees himself as some sort of a king, um, he's sort of big in the head, like he's just not real clear. For whatever reason, and honestly, it feels like there is somebody sort of with him, and they're walking behind him, and they're saying, "Sit down now, sir. Stand up now, sir. You're going to need to do this now, sir." It just feels like his actions are somehow being it's like there's a lot of manipulation going on there. And again, I want to caution people out there who think that they can manipulate him. He has horseshoes shoved up his butt so far. I don't think that they'll ever come out. Um, and yes, energetically, astrologically, things are changing. There's going to be a lot of changes in the next, I want to say, 6, 7 weeks. So be mindful that with great change tends to come great shock, great destruction. So just keep yourselves in a good, calm place, because the goal for the next literally 10 days is chaos in as many areas, about as many things as you can. And let's remember, now they have social media just completely bowed to him. And so there now goes the flood of misinformation, which is flooding out, and people aren't getting it. And it's everything's going to become amplified, and it is designed to scare you, to create anxiety, to create worry. And the reality is that even though this time it very definitely feels like he's being more controlled somehow, um, I just he's just not as energetic as he was during his last visit to the Oval. He's just very like nonchalant. Um, Sometimes I think in part because he simply expects it as his due. We can dislike every single thing about Donald Trump, and we all do probably, but you cannot deny the fact that he is an absolutely masterful manifester. And we've talked about this. It's because he doesn't put any doubt in his head. He doesn't allow it to live there. And so he is forever and forever completely obsessing and thinking and focusing on creating this new whatever it is he wants. And he can become so focused on it that even when the odds are all against him and you think there is no way he's going to recover from this one, he just does. Okay? So people who think that they're going to be able to manipulate him are going to find out that they're not going to be able to do that so easily. And it'll be interesting to see if in the days and weeks ahead, um, he displays more energy and more vitality. The energy around him is not good. It's kind of gray. I have to tell you, it just sort of looks like um, fog around him. Like I don't see an aura. I just see this fog. So the purpose of this little video was just to come on, say hi, say I sympathize with you, but mostly to just make sure that everybody does everything they can to keep themselves emotionally in a good place. Because I think that in the next 6 weeks there are going to be so many shocks and changes and completely unanticipated event. It just feels like that energy, And it's not like, a big bang, it's like, a slow acceleration, right? So tomorrow is slightly more intense or slightly more crazy than yesterday was, but next week on Monday, it's gonna be that much more. It's like that kind of an energy that builds and builds until you get into that March, April timeframe, and then, um, I think it's almost impossible for anybody to know, um, what is likely to happen by that point. The energy right now is new, it is fragile, but as I said, it's very interesting because there isn't a lot of ambition, um, or drive or energy connected to the accomplishment of being sworn in as president because it did what he needed it to do. He kept him out of jail. It proved that he wasn't a loser. He could do this again. It wasn't a fluke. He got nothing else to do. And so whatever Mr. So and so or country whatever says to him is going to find a very fertile um, field. Okay, because he just draws it in. He just accepts it. And sometimes it's like the crazier it is, the more easily he seems to think it real. So take care of yourself. Don't push yourself harder than um, is good for you. Make sure that you take care of your energy and that you keep yourselves protected. And mostly find that space where you can just sort of relax and let go. Okay, it's important. So here we have day one. God help us all. All right. Thank you very, very much for being here. Until next time, take care and be well. Questions in the comment section below. Take good care. Bye bye.